Difficult week for the Soweto-based Magadla family. Their 6-year-old son, Khayalethu, fell into an uncovered manhole last Sunday. Search operations have been underway every day since. A robotics team has been established to help with the rescue operations. My colleague, reporter Linda Gutlekulu, on the scene this hour, joining us now. Kabashe, good afternoon. It's been a painful week for the family, heartbreaking. Still no news at all about the whereabouts of Khayalethu since he was reported to have fallen into that manhole. Now, technology is being used over the last day or two, including this afternoon, to try and help locate Khayalethu.
Well, that's right, Braden. That particular process is in fact beginning right now. There had to be a rebuilding, or in terms of that robotic, operator to be able to go inside. We understand that because of the terrains inside, they had to then make it in a form of a boat that you are seeing right now. This is what is about to be deployed in terms of that particular pipes that we understand the 6-year-old Magadla had fell inside. So they are about to put it inside. They will hoist it inside the pipe. You will be seeing, of course, the cameras in the front of that particular boat that is showing you that they'll be having a live feed as it navigates itself into some of the pipes there. But one of the things I can certainly tell you is that the reason for doing this is because they want to have a process of elimination. They want to make sure that the 6-year-old is not stuck in the pipelines that are leading up to where the pipes converge, where the search is happening. So while they're searching that site, they are telling us that they are going to deploy this particular device that will be in fact moving around these particular pipes to ensure that finally they have some certainty in terms of the fact that the body of the 6-year-old is not caught up in any of those pipes. With Mdate Robert Mulawuti from EMS, as Mbudzeni continues to show you that particular process of deploying this device inside the pipes, just to get a sense really of what had happened. You'd remember that my colleague Pule Litswiti, when he showed you yesterday, he was not showing this particular robot, so it took the whole day to craft this one. Just give us a sense of why that decision was made.
Yes, yesterday, last night we were here late up until around 8 o'clock in the evening. So what we did, we came in to assess the area. So we found out that that 4x4 one, which we did show the viewers out there yesterday, was that the water levels were much more higher. So there was a risk of, as it goes, it might be hit by a current, and then of course it's not gonna give us visuals which we need. Hence, we decided that they're gonna go back, try and put up a boat, a floating boat, which will have underwater camera, and also it will have also the camera on the surface, which will be able to give us a 360 view about the along the pipeline. So meaning that those visuals which we're going to get, it will be able to get if maybe there's an obstruction, maybe, or it can be able to show us the young Khayalethu. We can be able to say from there we stop it, and then from there we can be able to send our rescue technicians using our external air supply system, and then from here where it goes, we're going to on the other manhole. You saw the guys there, our hazmat technicians on the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to send them from the other manhole going up. So we're doing it simultaneously. Where we feel that we are not going to be able to use them physically, we're using the technology just like that, so that we can be able to clear the whole line. So we hope, hence we have got a strong hope that by today at least we'll have some kind of information as to whether we are able to locate the young boy here, or we'll be relying on the split chamber.
Okay. Yeah. Just tell us in terms of why this is happening. We know that you've deployed technicians before into these particular manholes, but the bringing into the picture the boat that our viewers are looking at right now. Give us a sense of why is it that you want to make certain of certain of the fact that there is no body within this pipeline.
We are told that according to the layout, there's an area where it's got a slight curve where we might have an obstruction. Hence, we felt that technology will be able to assist us. Why the boat is that the boat will be able to float on, or along, because we still have water on the pipeline. So the boat will be able to float without any hindrance. Hence, we decided to go for this, unlike the 4x4 robot which we had last night.
All right, Mr. Mlawuthi, we'll leave it there for now. But our viewers, Praten, you are looking, in fact, at a boat that has been constructed to actually navigate through the pipes here where the 6-year-old had fallen, the Magadla child. But what is currently happening is that they will be hoisting this particular boat. They'll be putting it inside the pipeline just to make sure, just to be 100% certain that he is not caught up in any of the pipes as they move along to that split chamber. The split chamber is where they believe he will end up, but they first need to make sure that from where he fell all the way through to the split chamber that he isn't caught up in anything, and that is some of the methods they're employing here before they continue to focus their search in terms of those split chambers. So this is the process that's unfolding, Praten. It is an effort from the city of Johannesburg as well as the South African Police Service, but they are basically saying that they've made a promise to the family that they are going to ensure that they find the 6-year-old, and these are some of the efforts that are going in, bringing in technology to ensure that they are certain about the fact that he's not caught up in any of the pipelines before they focus their search into those split chambers that are currently still being searched as we speak.
Yeah, see, they are getting that floating robotic device, that boat type device, getting it ready there, Lindo Guhle. And there's also another gentleman now, he's suited up and he's getting down the manhole. I guess he's going to go down and then they'll hand it over to him. While that is happening, Lindo Guhle, just give our viewers a sense. I don't know if you've managed at all today, but I know that throughout this very traumatic period for the family, you've been touching base with the Magadla family. I mean, a few days ago we were told that they are just really waiting for whatever outcome. They just want to find closure. I mean, the sentiments today must still be a little bit of frustration, but understandably so. They are seeing that the city of Joburg, the emergency services, as the mayor said yesterday, Dr. Mpopalatse, is not giving up.
That's right, Praten. The family is the one that's been left worse for wear. They are still in anguish. They are waiting for what they themselves have called the remains of their child, because they are saying because of the time that has lapsed, 6 days, that is why they believe that the child might not be alive. But what they are calling for is that his remains be found and that they be able then to find some closure. So that's the sentiments we've been getting in terms of the family and where they are. But we understand they are receiving some assistance in terms of, psychology. Psychologists, social workers have been deployed by the city of Johannesburg, and it's basically just a process of waiting. It is painful for them, but one of the things that is keeping them, strong, according to the EMS spokesperson Robert Mlawuthi, was to say that every day, everything, when they try to employ these new tactics of finding the 6-year-old, they are updated in the morning about what is going to happen, and they are updated as well in the evening in terms of what the efforts of the day had yielded. So quite a painful one for them. They are still waiting. They are still hoping that they'll receive some form of news, and this is the escalation of the efforts then from the city of Johannesburg, bringing in Delta Scan, the company here that is in charge in terms of the engineering of this particular device. We understand they had to go back. They had another device, but unfortunately they thought that one would not be able to, or would not be suitable for the terrains. That's why they brought in now a boat-like device that will be able to give them the visuals, live visuals from inside, but more than anything, it will be able to float through the water that we understand is still inside there. They're saying that the Johannesburg water is the one that diverted the water, but not entirely, so that this device can be able then to navigate. But on the other side, my colleague Mbudzeni will show you there are some technicians that will will be along this particular boat. Where they cannot reach, then they will be able to deploy this boat to give them a sense really of what is underneath there. But where they can, they will also be using their own eyes, their own expertise to ensure that they are moving through the terrain and they're able to see if at all there is anything caught up, if the body of the 6-year-old is caught up. So you are seeing them now just going down with that particular ladder. Thereafter, we are expecting that the boat, which is a device here, will be able to go after them, and they'll then do this job together with this particular machinery. But it's all about ensuring that they leave no stone unturned or they leave no pipe unchecked when it comes to ensuring that they find the body of the 6-year-old.
Yeah, and it can't be easy, as Mlaudzi was telling you there a little bit earlier, as Mr. Mlaudzi was telling you, saying that yesterday the robot that was deployed was like a 4x4 type vehicle, which we also showed our viewers. And then there's a lot of water underneath there, and that the current in those pipes might just be too strong for that 4x4. Hence, this floating device, like looks like it's shaped like a boat, is going to be taken down. It must take quite some time, and as you say, they have to check everywhere. They can't miss anything. They have to take it easy, take it step by step. It's going to be quite painstaking. I mean, the issue of these open manholes still a big headache for parts of Soweto. I know you also spoke to the MMC for safety earlier, Mr. David Tembe, and they are also thinking about the measures going ahead, how to protect our children and prevent similar occurrences in future.
Well, that's right, Praten. David Tembe speaks about, in fact, as back as 2004, to say that they've been having these issues, particularly with some of the manholes that Johannesburg Water is in charge of. They're saying that they've had engagements with them, and as much as some of these things are accredited to theft, they are saying that better ways need to be found. In fact, the mayor of the city of Johannesburg, Mpho Phalatse, said when we spoke to her about the manholes that they do have some element, of monetary value, and that is why they see many of them actually being, being stolen. But they're saying that in repairing some of those manholes that have been left open, they are replacing them with a plastic-like and a concrete-like material, so that it does not have the monetary value that would have these people who steal them actually come to steal them. So that is one of the processes that we've been told. But David Tembe as well, the MMC for public safety, did tell us that there are other means that they are doing, and they are particularly focusing on areas where there might be human life danger, saying that in instances like this, when they put a cover for a manhole, they also put a device that will then be able to detect if there is a tampering of some of these infrastructure that they put as far as manhole is concerned. So that is another way in which they are saying that they are trying to fix this. But then the mayor revealed to us that it's 1.4 million of these, or 1.3 million of these manholes across Johannesburg, and that is why they can't just say that they are doing an overhaul. They are focusing on the ones that are particularly damaged at this stage, but thereafter they will then be looking into how to speed up the process of replacing, if possible, the material that they've used in the old manholes that have this monetary value. But then we are going to get closer now with my colleague Mbudzeni to show you. You are seeing the lights in front of that particular device, and the lights there show you that they are expecting that it will be dark in there. So in fact, I'll just come up with my colleague Mbudzeni to show you the phone that is here. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but we are seeing a live picture of ourselves as we show you from that particular cell phone device. We're seeing a live picture of ourselves, and it just goes to show it's a 360-degree picture of what we'll be seeing when we go into the tunnel. Perhaps if I can speak to the gentleman there who's showing us, just to perhaps explain it better in terms of what we are looking at here. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Just perhaps introduce yourself and tell us exactly what you've been showing us here.
The rudder's on. Cool. Okay, so this is an unmanned vehicle that we're using specifically for the water flow. There's quite a bit of water. We're expecting 200 to 300 mils, and there's quite a heavy flow that's happening at the moment. So we've set up this rig so that we've got 360-degree lighting, so we cover all angles. Then we've got a 360-degree camera system on it, and we also have a feed going into those goggles on a high-definition camera, so we can steer the boat We can control where it's going, and we can also see what it's seeing in real time.
In fact, as the boat is going down, I just want my colleague to come back on your cell phone. But then I am really hoping that you can see the feed that we are seeing on the cell phone.
Yeah, this will cut off, and that feed will take over.
Okay. But then perhaps if you can just observe, I'll ask my colleague Mbuteni to just go closer there, perhaps to see if he can be able to get some visuals from there. It should be dark, but I'm hoping that the sunlight that is still here will be able to show you. You can see the operation multi-pronged. EMS is inside there, but there are also these engineers from Delta Scan that are basically in charge of crafting this particular device. It is being hoisted down using a fishing rod, but the hope is that once it's inside with that 360-degree, they will be able to see exactly what is inside, be able to check even on places chance cannot go, and be getting a live feed. There is one of the people outside here that is operating this particular boat, and you will see he is even wearing goggles here, just showing exactly what they are hoping to do. So there is that particular operator of this particular device that will in fact be able to control and see exactly what is inside as this operation continues. It's starting a bit late because they had to go back to the drawing board and actually craft that particular boat, but the point of it is that it will float. It will be able to float, unlike the 4x4 device that we saw, the unmanned vehicle from yesterday from my colleague Buleli Tswiti. So this is the operation that they are having, is efforts to try and find the 6-year-old Magadla, a child that has went missing, fell into a manhole, and on Sunday, and 6 days later, you see that there's an escalation in terms of trying to find him.
Yes, I mean, it's a painstaking operation. They have to do this with great care and thoroughness, because you've got the sensitive technology device. The robot that's gone down is shaped like a boat, and as you showed us there, Lindo Gusho, we saw that cell phone 360 view of what they'll be able to see once that boat is flowing on the water. The gentleman you spoke to there earlier from Delta Scan did say they hear that below there's a lot of water, so there's a very heavy flow, hence you need a boat-like device to be able to ride the flow, and it's got the lights and will be taking the picture. So it's really painstaking. It has to be done with great care and thoroughness so that it manages to do the job of being directed properly under there through those pipes as they try and locate the 6-year-old Khayalethu. Did you get that idea from them? Because earlier, when you were speaking to Mr. Milaudzi, he said yesterday they worked until about 11 o'clock at night. Now it's about 20 past 4 in the afternoon. They're just starting a little bit late. Did you get a sense this will continue throughout the evening with this boat-like robot?
Are they driving to the manhole?
It's certainly going to continue throughout the evening, Praten. In fact, the only thing that's delayed this particular process was because they had to shift gears as far as this device is concerned. Like I said, the device that Buleli Tswiti was showing us yesterday was like a 4x4, and they're saying that because of the terrains and the water that still remains inside, that is why then they were in fact changing tactics. But now they've crafted this particular device. This device will then be able navigated through the water there. But the nice thing that you saw, Praten, is that it's already dark inside there. They are using light, their own lights in terms of looking inside, so that will not stop them in terms of operating at night. Robert Mlaudzi did say that the teams from EMS are also working around the clock in terms of ensuring that they try to continue the search as far as they possibly can. So the particular operation we are looking at right now is inside the pipes. It is dark, so sunlight is not affecting them because they'll just be using their own lighting. So that is the process that we understand will be taking place. We are going to be checking with them, of course, throughout the time that they are doing this operation, and we are just going to be monitoring exactly some of the efforts that are continuing. But this is an operation inside the pipes. It's already dark, so sunlight will certainly not affect them. But I'm sure they will go as far as the batteries allow them, because that device is a battery-powered device, as we've been told. So those are some of the things we're expecting will happen. But one thing, as that boat is inside that device, that unmanned vehicle outside here, you're seeing that there is a person that's helping it in terms of navigating. He is wearing those goggles. He is also having a remote in his hand. So it's a highly technical operation here, but it is also with a human element, as we understand that there are some of the technicians from EMS that will be underneath as well. They will be helping the device, but where they can't, the device then will have to operate on its own. And that's exactly why they had to take some time to ensure that it is crafted suitably for the terrains that are under there, so that they'll be able to conduct this particular mission.
Yeah, thanks to Mbuzeni, we could see some of the water right now when he got closer to the manhole where those three gentlemen are standing as they are helping navigating that boat-like device. And we saw the two lights mounted on top of the device. That's the lights that is going to use in those dark tunnels, the water tunnels around that Soweto area where the 6-year-old Khayalethu Magadla is said to have fallen into the manhole. Thank you very much to you, Linda Gutle, and to Mbuzeni. There is the water. We can see it live, exactly how fast it's flowing, as that gentleman from Delta Scare was warning. Hence, you could not continue using the robot that looked like a 4-wheel that we saw yesterday. You needed something that can float on that fast-flowing water. I mean, just imagine the pain and the trauma that the Magadla family, the Khayalethu's parents, are going through right now as they continue to wait. But their hope that he will be found continues because of these efforts. It's 6 days since this unfortunate tragic incident took place, and EMS and Joburg water technicians and these specialist robotics people have all come together in an effort to assist in finding Khayalethu. The family giving up just 2 days ago, saying they are even ready now to their mindset is that his remains are the ones that might be found. Linda Gutle, from what we know, the family is not there. It's only the technicians, the EMS officials throughout this search and rescue operations currently. They just get an update in the evenings and in the mornings.
Okay, brilliant. That they get an update before the operation starts. They also get an update after the day's effort in terms of what is it exactly that has happened. But from time to time, we have been seeing, in fact, on that split chamber, we have been seeing some of family members just coming to visit to get an update, being proactive themselves to see if there's any progress. So you can understand that they themselves are anxious to find out what has happened. But throughout the time, we have also been seeing some community members gathering every time EMS members come here to try and continue with these efforts. Many of them are concerned. Many of them are saying that they have lambasted the fact that these manholes have been left without covers, and they are in a place where it is in fact a park. So a park is where children should in fact be playing. They should be there. They should be conducting recreational work, playing football and all of that. So this is a park that was meant to actually have children play, but unfortunately these manholes that pass through this particular park in Dlamini were unfortunately not covered, and that is why we find ourselves here. And I mean, this is one of the manholes that was left open. It's not the one that the young Magadla had fallen inside, but it is one of the one. It is 100 meters away from that other one. But you can see even in terms of the replacement of the of the material here, that they have in fact shied away from using what was a cover that has metal. This one seems to be plastic, and that is one of the strategies that they are saying they have employed here to ensure that these covers are not stolen. They do not have monetary value as far as scrap metal is concerned. But the family has not been showing up in fact in these areas. I believe they've been told and advised by social workers to say that they must in fact stay indoors. They must in fact contact the relevant people within the ground so that they get an update. Because if you look at these things as a family member, if you see this, you would be pained. In fact, there was a prayer 2 days ago that was led by the grandmother of the 6-year-old. She was already crying when she looked at the site of the manhole that the child fell in. So those are some of the things I believe the family has been advised against, to say that they must not be here and in fact anxiously waiting for something to happen while these operations are concerned. That is why EMS spokesperson spokesperson Robert Mulaudi told us that in fact the reason why they tell them in the morning and in the afternoon is for them to know that efforts are still continuing so that they can be comforted by the fact that there is operations that are ongoing. But as far as the fact that the family should come here, I believe that's been advised against, and this is because it's a painful thing. While these fancy apparatus, while the boats are being deployed, at the end of the day, for this family, one thing is in their mind. It's the fact that their 6-year-old son is missing, and that is why I believe they've been advised against coming to these operations that are ongoing at this stage.
Linda Gutlekulu, thank you very much. We're going to have to leave it there so you can carry on observing what's happening there. That robotic device being launched just a short while ago, we brought to you live. It looks like a boat this time around, because the earlier one used yesterday that looked like a 4x4 is not really working well down there. So now we'll have to wait and see what this boat-like device is going to achieve. There are members of the EMS crew, Joburg water technicians, under there, as well as they carry on to try and find 6-year-old Khayalethu Magadla, who fell into a water hole, manhole, in Dlamini in Soweto last Sunday.